Okay, today we're cracking open a secret to better learning that might sound a little weird at first. We're going to talk about how to really, truly get a handle on a subject. You've got to let your imagination just run free.
So be honest for a second. When it's time to study, what's your go-to mindset? Do any of these little internal monologues sound familiar? Maybe you sit down and tell yourself, all right, fun's over, time to be serious. The idea is you gotta be super rigid, laser focused, and just deal with the cold, hard facts on the page.
Or maybe this one pops into your head. Imagination, come on, that's for kids. I'm doing real academic work here. So many of us are basically taught to switch off that creative part of our brain when we open a textbook.
And oh yeah, this is the big one, the feeling that you have to stick only to what's written down. That going off script in your own head, even for a second, is just a total waste of time.
While the research we're digging into today says that whole way of thinking, it's a mistake. A really big one, actually. It's the very thing that might be holding you back.
So first, let's get into why. Let's look at how our brains are actually built to learn and how we can flip the switch from just going through the motions to making learning feel alive. Just look at the difference here. Our brains don't really love the stuff on the left. Dry words, boring definitions, static facts. Our brains are wired for the stuff on the right. They're built to remember pictures, to follow stories, and to process things that move. Real learning, brain-friendly learning, is vivid. It's not supposed to be sterile. And here's the crucial link. When you use your imagination to create a little mental movie of what you're studying, you're attaching an emotion to it. And that emotional tag, it acts like superglue for your memory. It literally tells your brain, hey, pay attention. This is important. You're gonna want to remember this. So what does it actually mean to let your imagination run wild in a way that helps you learn? It's not about chaos. It's about setting your mind free, but keeping it in the right playground.
So how do you actually do it? Well, you take the information off the page and you give it life. Don't just read about a process. Picture it happening right in front of you. See a diagram in your book? Imagine you shrink down and you're walking around inside of it. You can even turn abstract ideas into characters with their own personalities. Just keep asking what if and see where it takes you.
For instance, let's say you're studying biology. Don't just memorize the parts of a cell. No way. Imagine the cell is this bustling, living city. The mitochondria, they're the power plants keeping the lights on. The nucleus is City Hall, making all the decisions. And the cell membrane, that's the city wall with security guards controlling who gets in and out. All of a sudden, it's a story you can follow, not just a list you have to cram.
Or what about history? Don't just read the dates. Put yourself there. What does it smell like? What are the sounds you hear? What are people wearing? Try to feel the tension in the air right before a big battle. When you do that, you're not just reading about history, you're actually experiencing it. And even for something really abstract, like economics, you can do this. You could picture the market as a giant, complex weather system, right? With the forces of supply and demand swirling around like currents of wind and water. This is how you grab onto something abstract and make it real. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Won't I just get totally distracted and start daydreaming about something else? And that is a great question. This is where we have to draw a really sharp line between using your imagination with focus and just spacing out. This difference is everything. Running wild, the way we're talking about it, is directed. It's always connected to what you're studying. The creativity part can be wild for sure, but the direction is disciplined. This is not about losing focus or escaping into some fantasy that has nothing to do with your homework. It's a tool, not an escape hatch. So, what's the big payoff? Why should you even bother putting in this mental effort? Well, because it gives you the ultimate advantage, something called cognitive expansion. I mean, think about it. Exams, especially the hard ones, they don't just want you to spit back a definition you memorized. They're testing if you can apply what you know, if you can analyze a new problem, and if you can integrate different ideas. And here's the secret weapon. By using your imagination while you study, you are basically running little simulations in your head. You've already played with the concepts, you've twisted them around, you've poked at them, and you've seen how they react in different situations. The path here is actually super clear. You let your imagination play with the material. That creates these mental simulations. Then, when you get to an exam and see an application question, it doesn't feel new or scary. It feels familiar because you've kind of already been there in your mind. And that right there leads to a much, much deeper level of understanding.
So let's just get this straight. Using your imagination isn't some impractical, childish thing to do. It is a powerful, sophisticated technique for cognitive expansion. You are literally building a more flexible, more powerful brain.
And that brings us to what I think is the perfect summary of this whole idea. If you remember one thing, remember this. Let your imagination run wild. But, and this is the key part, let it run around the subject. Keep it connected to what you're trying to learn. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time you sit down to study, what's that one dry fact or boring diagram that you're going to choose to bring to life? What are you going to imagine first?